So I'm David Hornick again from August Capital, and I'm really just a traffic cop for this event. The people of great importance are sitting in the big chairs. So Christian Hernandez, head of biz dev for Europe for Facebook. Welcome. We've got Mike Kearns, who is VP of Social and Games over at Yahoo, sold his startup off to them, and now enjoying being the big guy. And then Christian Vollman, who's the founder of eDarling, who's living the startup world. And so I'll let each of you introduce yourselves, and then we'll get started with the 4 startups from this segment. So if you want to take just a few minutes to tell about yourselves, that'd be great.
Hello, Christian Hernandez. So I joined Facebook about a year and a bit ago, based out of London, to manage our partnerships and platform business here in Europe. So the fun part of my job is I get to deal with very large media companies and established e-commerce sites one day, and then lots of fun startups the next. So I'm excited about the startup competitions. There's a couple of these sites that I already know are doing some cool stuff on top of Facebook.
I'm Mike Kearns. I actually used to work with Ron Conway at Angel Investors, so did a lot of seed stage investing. Then started a company called Citizen Sports, which we sold to Yahoo about 9 months ago, and now I'm running social and personalization at Yahoo.
I'm Christian Vollmann, serial entrepreneur from Berlin, Germany, founder and/or co-founder in companies like iLove, dating site, MyVideo, a video sharing site. Currently, I'm involved in eDarling, matchmaking for people looking for long-term relationships, pretty much the eHarmony of Europe, and a company called ResearchGate, trying to build a Facebook for scientists and researchers.
All right, thank you all. So here's how it's going to work. Those of you who weren't here in the morning, we're going to invite out each company. They'll spend 5 minutes kind of giving you the overview of their business. Then we'll grill them for 6 minutes, ask some questions, and then ask the next one on stage. So we'll get things started. Oh, I have a highlighted note. The Twitter hashtag is LeWeb, in case you need to tweet. So our first company, and this is a company from Montreal, Quebec, is Praised Media. We have Peter Diedrich and Sylvain Carl. So come on up and tell us about what you're working on.
Thanks very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Tough slot after lunch, but I see some of you still have wine, and I hope you enjoy it. I'm Peter Diedrich, the CEO of Praised Media. This is our co-founder and CTO, Sylvain Carl. And we're going to talk to you about the intersection of needs and social media, hence the name Medium. Let me set some context. Every second, people are expressing implicit and explicit needs in social media. What does that mean? That means that there's millions of leads out there for new business. And you can see some of them up on the screen. The unfortunate thing, maybe not for us, but the unfortunate thing is that most of those needs and wants and desires go unanswered, as you can see from the final piece that's going to come up here. So, what do? We want to take advantage of those needs. And that's what Medium is all about. As you can see, how it works is we harvest, index, and create a large database of all of those needs expressions that come through the Twitter feed currently. We do that for multiple cities. And we do it by category. So think of Yellow Pages. 400 odd very interesting categories, and we currently do it for 10, growing to 50, growing to 300 in the next year. And what results is a database of needs that can be then pushed as leads through engagement with customers directly through community management, and then taken to a specific merchant in a geolocal location that is also identified as part of the database. So one-to-one engagement for lead generation and customer conversion. We're going to take a look at a little feed we had going over the last few days for a restaurant here not in Montreal. There is one in Montreal called La Coupole, but the one in Paris called La Coupole. And we're going to show you what some of the feed looks like coming off of our platform. And I'll draw your attention to the right-hand side, where we see opportunities, and mentions are on the the left and mentions on the right-hand side. As you can see, 7 opportunities alone in this hour, close to 2,000 in a month. And if you look at this one down the bottom here, Ally W, perfect opportunity for La Coupole to intervene, or for a managed service provider such as ourselves to intervene directly and engage with that potential customer to come to La Coupole for a meal. Interesting point too, only 8 entries on the mentions in a month. This particular merchant needs a social media strategy, and our system and platform can deliver it. Next. So what's our business model? We're going direct right now in Montreal with merchants, and we've signed up in our preliminary beta of sales and community management close to 3 dozen customers, all of whom are paying $100 a month for this service. And in so doing are also signing up for long-term contracts, so 12-month repeatable contracts. We think that that's a very scalable model through partners, and also we're going to scale it quite significantly on our own in Montreal just to prove out sales, customer management, churn, and all the metrics that go with a business like this. Ultimately, we're going to move to work through channels who have bigger sales forces and feet in the street. And we'll also work with lead gen companies where we can just deliver wholesale lead inventories to folks and have a pay-for-performance model. What are the ingredients? Well, we do have a team with social local expertise, Yellow Pages expertise, and very strong internet platform expertise. The technology is fully operational and scaling even as we speak. More cities, more categories right now. Community management, our customer engagement mechanism for the managed service, is what we believe will be a core competence for us to succeed. And finally, we're open to performance models that include recurring revenue model that we're doing on a direct to merchant, as well as pay for performance with lead generating companies. What's it all mean? Millions of leads, billions of dollars globally, all from social media. Thank you very much.
It seems to me like Twitter is already hinting at chasing some of your business propositions. So how do you see what they're doing around sort of sponsored tweets, and do you see it as different from what you're building?
It's a little bit different. I mean, it's more of a traditional media model than what we're doing. We're building a community management expertise and acting on behalf of merchants in order to go to a one-on-one engagement and turn a opportunity into a warm lead and ultimately into a conversion. And we're also taking the opportunity to turn performance metrics like adding more followers for a merchant, building their Facebook page and then getting them to fan it, so that we have I would call it a content and social media ecosystem by small business. Each small business needs feet on the street to come see it. These guys don't buy a self-serve model. We've already learned that part. But if you take Groupon, 3,000 people worldwide selling? We need to get to that sort of level. We're going to do it on our own in one city, perfect the model, and then look for partners who we can work with.
I have one question. Who is actually writing the answer to the person voicing the need over social media? Are you, or is the business itself?
We have a community manager on staff that we train. It's social media. You can't take the human out of the equation. And we have people who basically take that first opportunity, recognize it as either a potential lead or not, work with the one that is a potential lead, and engage the customer. Typically, it's about a 2 or 3 message exchange. Very quick, and it's simple questions like where, when, what's on your menu, do you have availability? And we can push website information, we can push customer review information, we can push retweets of what other customers have done in their mentions very quickly. And we believe we can get a single community manager to be able to manage approximately 200 accounts.
One last question from my side. How do you build trust? Because you talk to people that don't know who you are.
It's a good point. Let's remember that we are intervening on behalf of the merchant. It's not Needium. It's Joe's Smoked Meat in Montreal, and we'll say Joe's Smoked Meat on St. Catherine Street, for example. People are going to recognize that that's that. They're going to be able to see the profile. They're also going to be able to see a Facebook page, so they're going to do their due diligence anyway, we hope. But our goal is to be very credible. Every time we reach out, there's only 2 responses we get. No response, not very often, but a positive response, because people are, you go back to that statistic, 70% of the tweets go unanswered, so no one's expecting an answer for the most part. When we answer, there's pleasant surprise.
I have 2 questions. One is, it seems very Twitter focused, so I'll save Christian from asking the question, but what about the conversation on the Facebook feed? Are you looking into that? And second, just to give us a sense of kind of where you are in your kind of startup's growth, what are the key milestones for your business in the next 3 months? You know, the answer to that question kind of helps me, because it looks like you have live product, you have customers you're working with. I'm trying to understand where you're all thinking about your next phase.
I'll take the first one. Yeah, the model on Facebook is different than on Twitter. Right now we're doing a public @reply on behalf of merchants. So although technically with the Facebook API you can index content, most people don't know that their content is public on Facebook. So the social situation of the awkwardness of replying to someone that's not expecting a reply on Facebook is something that we're shying away from. Not that we're not using Facebook for complementary needs or to help merchants, but the model that Twitter was built on works much better for open conversation.
Yeah, I would also add to that just one thing. We sort of have this business to business to consumer model, which works very well with Twitter, but for the business to business, let's say folks are looking for lawyers or they're looking for other professional kinds of services, LinkedIn is going to obviously provide us with another opportunity to bring in that business sort of oriented social medium.
So my initial concern here is that scaling the business is very much tied to feet on the ground and community managers. So you said a community manager is 200 businesses. How do you scale to thousands of businesses and then also acquiring it? And 2, La Coupole is actually going to be one of the hardest businesses to transform, right? They don't get digital, they don't get social. How do you actually act on their behalf when these other guys are going to be the hardest to convince?
Excellent question, because that's the hardest part of the selling process. In the previous sort of management that was with the company, they sort of went out with screenshots of these wonderful Twitter things, and people were going, well, what's Twitter? And then we go, do you have a website? What's a website? And, well, what's your email? They didn't even have an email. Like, those 3 things were missing. And we just turned it around and said, look, these opportunities exist. You're missing them wholesale right now, and they're happening right outside your door. So we just found a better way to demonstrate it with them. Our sales force walks around with an iPad. They show them real-time feeds for, let's say it's beauty salons or hotels or whatever, and they're kind of going, wait, this has happened 1 minute ago? Yes, this happened 1 minute ago, and you didn't get to capitalize on it. Then they finally realize. It is a very strong selling point for us. So, we're scaling up the sales force to take that on in Montreal. And there's a robust small business kind of population there. We've found the metrics to be 1 in 5, as a walk-in.
So ultimately, do you want to have a self-serve platform for a small business to be able to use it, and you have the data analytics similar to a Buddy Media or what they're doing?
Yes. I mean, it would be great if they all wanted to do self-serve. We haven't reached that point yet. When they do, we're ready, because that's what we first went to market with.
All right. Peter and Sylvan, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.